I'm pretty quiet with the people I don't know, but I'm an absolute freak with the ones I do.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Daily Hotpot. I am your co-host Drift, aka Robbie.
And I am Khan. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, and welcome to the third episode of week 4 of the Daily Hotpot. Khan, we're not going to wish them another wonderful sunny day because at this point I think we're probably wrong. But Khan, are you ready?
It is beautiful outside. I hope you guys are driving to work on a nice sunny day.
Mhm.
I'm just here in my garden right now as we talk. I am gardening in my backyard.
I'm right now levitating a foot specifically off the ground, entering a new mental space to edit this week's podcast. Oh man. But Khan, are you ready for today's topic?
Yes, I am. Or rather, what is today's topic?
I'm glad you asked, because today's topic is none other than an introvert's guide to social skills. And no, this will not be a tutorial. This is us sharing how the hell me and Khan, two introverts, socially navigate this weird fucking world.
Well, myself, I am still learning how to do certain social skills that I am terrible at, such as just public speaking. I am actually a miserable public speaker. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of obvious, just listening to me talk, but I actually have such a fear of public speaking that if I get up on stage and there are people looking at me, if I don't have like a prepared speech, or if I don't have like prepared bullet points that I can just look at and talk about, I kind of like just space out. I kind of like freeze up, to be honest.
You have like a horror story of a moment where you had to public speak and it just went to complete shit.
Well, I mean, my job is pretty much communication for the most part, where I'm trying to present ideas or present a project. And I do have to either talk in Zoom or in person, talk to people who are actually invested in the topic because they're paying for it.
Right.
So it's frightening every time. If I'm not prepared, and I have to prepare actually during every meeting, I have to like pre-prepare it ahead. I can't just be like some people that just off the riff go into a meeting, a business meeting, and just wing it. I can't wing it. I have to have a presentation ready. I have to have data I could talk about. I have to have things to show. Kind of hard, to be honest, especially as an introvert.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that in school, especially with like projects and stuff, you were like the over-prepared person. Like if you were like in a partner thing, were you the person to like egg your partner on and go like, hey, yo, bro, we like actually like need to be prepared and study for this and like make sure that we know this. Do you have note cards? You're a note card guy?
No, it's kind of funny. That's probably how it came off as I was talking about it, but I was actually the opposite.
Oh, really?
I was the I don't like actual schoolwork. I was a terrible student, so I was actually unprepared for everything. And that's
Okay.
probably why I learned to do certain things as an adult professionally. Okay, I actually do have to prepare. So in school and in college in particular, that's when certain flaws came out, and I needed to correct it going into adulthood.
Yeah, that's definitely something that'll kick you out of your introvert, I guess, habits, is if it becomes a necessity for life or work.
Yeah.
Like you kind of just, your survival instincts like, you know what, bro, we got to do this. We have to. There's no other way. We just got to go through it head first.
But before all that, though, before getting into the actual guide itself, do you know your personality type?
Are we talking about the Miles, was it Miles Briggs or whatever? The
16 personality
There it
types?
is. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do.
Okay. What is it? I'm interested.
Mine is, I haven't taken it in like a year or so, but I think I retook it twice, like a couple years before that, and then another time this time. And it was INFPT. INFPT.
Oh, F. I have it open,
Oh, okay.
as
All
we're
right.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't find it, but go ahead. Do you know what it is?
Okay. Well, I know the first one's introvert, and then
Yes, obviously.
N is, I don't remember. I actually don't remember what each letter was. I think at one point I did, but yeah, let me know. What is it? I totally forgot.
Have you ever taken the 16personality.com test where it gives you like the persona?
Yes. Yeah, no, I
Like
have. I took that
yeah.
exact one twice. Yeah.
Which is it? Do you remember? So for myself, I am INTJ.
Okay.
Which is the persona is the architect, right? So
Mm.
the architect is introverted, intuitive, thinking, judging, apparently. He is
Mine.
intellectually curious individual with a deep-seated thirst for knowledge.
Would you agree?
Interesting. I haven't taken it in a while, and probably then it probably made sense. I don't know what I am currently, and personality, I feel like it's something that changes a lot.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah, like I'm not as strict. Some people are like, this is your personality type, and that's forever your personality type.
Nah, nah, nah.
For me, it all depends on like your current environment, what has happened to you recently, and what you want to focus on in the future. And all those things combined becomes your personality.
Yeah, no, 100% agreed. I remember I was. Oh, I'm forgetting it now. The word is coming. Man, the word for the title is coming from me. But yeah, INFPT. Was it like imaginer or like something negotiator, something like that? It had to do something with being like a mediator, like someone who can like.
A mediator is one of them.
Yes, I think it was mediator. Is she green? It's like a green lady with like yellow hair or something. It's a.
Yes, 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 yes.
If you guys don't know the Myers-Briggs test, I believe that's what it's called. When they assign you a personality, they have like a persona, quote unquote, like a character that your personality embodies. It's just a communicative visual way to like describe how your personality is. And in this case, it was like a blonde lady. She looks like she's like a fertility like forest goddess looking lady.
That is such like a genius way of easily communicating or easily getting people into what their personality is.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so for you, mediator, that is INFP apparently. And it's introverted, intuitive, which is N, feeling and prospecting traits. Does that sound
Interesting.
correct to you?
Could you define the last two in the way they define it? I haven't read this in a while, so I'm curious on how they define those last
Well,
two.
one of like the major personality, and I think pretty relevant to you, is like the gift of empathy.
Mm,
And even as a personality, I feel like that's pretty on point with you. Right? You're able to relate with people. You're able to, in a group setting, try to like mediate certain topics away or towards a certain topic. Or even if like a little drama happens, you're definitely there, and definitely for someone that we look to be able to kind of like figure out the situation. And going
mm.
into like your actual job, dude, you're a camp director. I'm sure a good portion of your actual daily job
It is
is to mediate problems,
it's
right?
very much a big part of my
Yeah.
job. Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think now that I remember, yeah, it's been a long time since I read that test. I think it's 3 years. I'd agree, and actually, now that I think about it, even if I took the test again, I don't think it'd change too much. At least I don't think so. Do you feel like you'd be drastically different from your test now? If you took it right now?
Not too much, like definitely introverted, intuitive feeling for sure. And certain things might change, but I think the overall idea that me and you are just people who are someone who would much prefer to kind of think about the situation
Mm-hmm.
or get a grasp of the situation before we act upon it. And even in like a social environment or even in a group environment, we definitely want to like think first, kind of figure out like who this person is and making sure that, okay, I don't want them to feel a certain way, or, oh, I would really want them to like open up. How would I do that? We
Mm-hmm.
think about how a lot to do something and then do it versus, oh, I'm just going to push myself into a situation and see the outcome.
I think that's a really good assessment of both of us. I'm definitely not. I mean, am I compulsive in some ways? Sure, but like emotionally and situationally, I'm definitely not compulsive in that way. I think yeah, I agree. Well, you and I would definitely analyze a situation and see what we're getting into before we just
Mhm.
pull the trigger on it, especially if they have very costly or very maybe not harmful, but just drastic effects on whatever scenario we're in. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Do you think yourself as someone who's good at assessing or and figuring out what someone is when you first meet them? Like some people are like, oh, I'm really good at judging people. Do you think you're a good judger of a person's personality?
I like to think so. I think people even knew this in like high school or friends would say like I'm very observant. I'm very much can read a room or like read someone very easily, which kind of goes into our whole introvert's guide to things.
Mhm.
I think there's
Yeah.
a part of it that is natural, but I think it is also a learned skill.
It's a survival skill.
It's a survival
to
skill.
to be honest, it really is a survival skill, and I think this goes back even to like our childhood, and maybe for you too, and just growing up. Okay, in order to survive in a new environment that we ourselves are uncomfortable in, how do I use certain skills
Mhm.
to get an outcome that is more comfortable for me or something I could deal with.
No, 100%. You know, it's weird that you say that. As you say that, just like with the episode prior where you had like thought of something as you were talking about it, you just reminded me now
Mhm.
of like putting into perspective on how and why I developed those skills. I had mentioned before that growing up, not all the time, but there were key moments in my life where I was kind of bullied. You know, I
Mhm.
was a chubby Filipino Asian squinty glasses guy. I mean, it's kind of hard not to be a target in that sense. But how I maneuvered around those short or longer stints of bullying was I had to be quick and adaptable and find cracks and quickly read people's personalities in such a way that I can understand either what they want or how I can get in or out of situations and groups. Like I can quickly look into a room and go like, okay, I can easily tell that these people are clicked together and these are like the nerdy people or these people are like the jocks and do this or have this certain disposition. And I was able to actually find ins in elementary school. Like even though I was the nerdy bullying guy, the people that would make fun of me, I ended up being their friends. How? Because I ended up finding out what their humor was and finding out this or that about them and instantly able to mold my humor and jokes towards them so they'd stop bullying me. And I was able
Mm.
to strike that balance between being friends with them while also finding a key with my like nerd friends and all that, and like was able to even like protect my nerd friends from these like kind of more ghetto friends where I went to elementary school. And that kind of carried with me throughout this whole time is like, did I want to be someone who had to like weave my way and kind of show out for a group of people? No, I wanted to hide in my corner and fucking draw my fake Pokemon. But to
Right.
survive, I had to manifest this ability to quickly read someone and go like, look, not to judge, but I have to be able to read you in a split second to understand and get your vibe and to make this situation, as you said yourself, more comfortable for someone who's so uncomfortable in these social situations. But yeah, I just thought of that because you just literally like talking
Yeah.
about it like made me think about that, and I think that's very
We
apt.
are learning so much about
So
ourselves
much
just
right now.
from it's a little frightening and it's a little uncomfortable, right?
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This week's pod has been very a lot more introspective than I think we even thought this was gonna be.
Yes.
I
So go no, I was just gonna say, like, one of the things I have come to realize, and it might sound so trivial and so easy, and it's definitely one of those things where it's like easier said than done. For me, it's to be able to kind of know or understand that most of the things you're worrying about are probably not that big a deal. Even if it pans
mm,
out to be like, even if it comes true, it's not that big a deal. And it's so hard growing up to like think of it that way. Everything is so scary, and all if something goes wrong, you get frustrated. Like as a kid, or even like as an adult, you get frustrated. And what do you? And a lot of people can't deal with frustration in a positive manner. And for me, something that I've always was able to do, or at least maybe have learned to do, was to kind of just go with it. It's like, okay, I know it's scary. I know it didn't go the way I wanted to,
mm,
but how do I move forward from it? And it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but I've learned to just shrug it off for the most part. Okay, it's not that big a deal. I mean, if I think that people think it's a big deal, that's fine too, because in actuality, they probably don't really care, right? Most people actually don't care.
that's kind of almost like a general rule of life, but definitely you learn is that, especially as you grow up, you just tend to understand that like people don't care as much as you do
Mhm.
about those
It's
trivial things.
yes.
It's very freeing when you fully understand that, because you can always say that, but it's always hard to like trump your own mind. It's like trying to trick itself into really understanding that. But once you fully realize that and come to experiences that reinforce that thought, you're like, shit ain't that bad. Like it sucks,
Yeah.
but shit ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely eye opening for sure. Those moments.
Something else that I've also learned to do is I really only do things that I want to do. And that might be harder for some people because, some people are more, oh, what do you want to do? Or they think
Mm,
more about what other people want to do. And I think it's more healthy for you, especially if you're someone that's a bit more introverted or a bit more shy. Just do what you want to do. And what I mean by this would be, oh, if you're in a group activity with your friends or even a group activity at work, okay, if other people want to do something that you don't want to do, you can just not say, you can say like, oh, I don't want to do that.
mhm.
I'll go do my own thing. And for the most part, people like respect that. People are like, okay, sure, you do it. And if they don't respect that, then, you know, at the end of the day, who cares, right?
Yeah, I think to an extent that's very much true. I think a part of me is also in the same vein where being introverted can definitely be a double-edged sword. I think you'd agree that, you
Mm,
know, there's times where you definitely need time to yourself. There's just some people are born a certain way where they just can't be introduced to a bunch of new experiences or take on too many new things at once. It's just it'll cause a system shutdown and so much nerves that it's just not healthy for a person. Yes, agreed, totally. Not for everyone. But a big thing that I learned and is still am battling with is you can't always rely or fall on being an introvert to be a crutch in situations where you sometimes just have to take the wheel, or, you know, or dropping an opportunity that easily could have been yours if you just took even the smallest amount of initiative, you know. There are just times where sometimes new experiences can be really scary, and I know that for a lot of introverted folks, whether it's socially or, you know, opportunistically with jobs or anything like that, that it's just like, oh, you know, new is scary. We always know that, especially for introverts, new is scary. And being at home
mm,
with everything you're used to is always so safe. And I understand that 100%. I don't do too many new things that often. I try to, you know, just for the health of mind. But
mm.
boy, would I just love that every day I could just chill at home and have, you know, cuddle with a cup of hot cocoa and my favorite food or a bag of chips and just sit and watch fucking movies or TV all day or whatever, or play my favorite video game. Just,
I think that's like our preferred state, anyways, to
yeah.
just be home in our own little space
Hmm.
and do the things that we want to do. But I would say to all those people out there who are like, you know, relating to what I just said, to
Hmm.
also not be afraid to try new things. And trying new things in itself is definitely really scary. So, for example, oh, I've never flown somewhere before.
Hmm.
Let's say a group of your friends have, you know, decided to have like a little gathering, you know, it's like a little vacation, right? And for you, you've never really traveled anywhere too far. And the idea of like getting into a plane to travel to even like a new country, super scary. How do
Hmm.
you get over that fear? The simple thing is to, you know, first understand that by you being there and with people that you know, it's going to be a great experience for you. You're going to have a lot of fun. And sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold it together. I'm trying to hold it together, bro.
I got good.
Yeah. As soon as you took hold of the horns and said travel to a new country, I said, okay, let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook.
All right, all right. Hold on.
You're
Let,
good,
let
you're
me
good.
let me wrap this up.
You're good,
So yeah, just know that traveling somewhere is scary, but if you do it like the first time, you'll know that's gonna be fine. You could do it again. It's like a repetitive practice where okay, it's actually not that scary, and it's something that you learn just moving forward that you can do, and it's definitely not something to be scared of.
No, definitely not. I remember my first time traveling outside the US, and that was a terrifying experience. And it was with family. It wasn't even alone. I mean, you know, I know alone could be a thousand times more terrifying, but like with anything new that I've done in my life, it's the first time is always going to be the hardest. And obviously that's a cliche statement, but it's cliche because it's true. It's just the first step to something new is going to be the most difficult. Everything is new. Everything is a blast of a fresh experience that is terrifying to comfortability. But I promise you that that first plunge, once you get rid of it, everything may not come easy, but everything will seem like a cakewalk. And just to put things in perspective, like at the end of the day, like that's the beauty of it all, you know? Because then you can always look back at life and go like, I remember when I was scared shitless to do X, Y, or Z, but now I'm able to do that. Maybe not all the time, but I can do it way more than I was prior to that.
Hmm.
It's a balance. So, sometimes as an introvert, life will push you to just completely snap in half like a Slim Jim. Shout out to Randy Savage. Snap in half like a Slim Jim, some of your habits as an introvert. And sometimes some were really stubborn in terms of habits, and it'll take 1,000 times of practice to break. But I think once you do find the opportunities to break past those gates and walls of an introvert's lifestyle and way of living, you'll find that there's so much more opportunities in life to live through and live by. I'm not saying completely flip to an extrovert. As an introvert, me and Khan both love our homebody style when we have those
Hmm.
opportunities in our day. But please, I think taking those shots on yourself and betting on yourself for those scenarios will make you a better person at the end of the day. I can 100% guarantee it.
Yeah, it's actually the whole idea of someone who is so sheltered or is by themselves most of the time and experiencing new things, I would love to like talk to other people like, oh, what's your first experience, or what was your fear when you first started dating?
Hmm.
Or when you first started like your new career, what was it like? What did you feel, doing these new things? To me, I would love to like talk to people about that.
It would be super
Nick.
interesting. It would be super interesting because it's, you know, not that it's such a black and white dynamic, but it's different for people who like you, just for example, like the dating one. It's different if you dated someone who's an extrovert versus if you date comfortably someone who's also an introvert, you know?
Mm.
Or like, you know, someone who gets a new job, but it's like, you know, they're working something more solitary, like, I don't know, like a backroom storage manager at a Lucky's or Safeway versus someone who does like a new front desk receptionist job with much more social, you know, HR related things. It's super interesting. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
let's get
love to-
some let's get some introverts in here, and we could talk
facts.
about those things.
Honestly, for us, it's not that hard. I think we know too many.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. Don't worry, introverts. We're here with you, and life ain't
Mhm.
too bad. Just gotta push yourself a little bit. But maybe we can
Yes.
all cuddle around a campfire and watch our favorite shows and eat some snackos together for comfortability if things get too scary.
Very true. So to like end this, I would say, hey, don't be afraid to try something you're uncomfortable with, because either you will learn to like it, and or you just know that you don't like it and you don't have to try it again. Is at the end of the day, it's kind of like as simple as that.
I agree. If that's a good capstone con, just go for it. Honestly, if you want the phrase of the day, just say "fuck it, we ball." I remember my best friends Tony and Nico would say that all the time. "Fuck it, we ball," and you know what? Fuck it, we ball. Just go for it.
Mm.
That's all you
Yes.
need. All right, Con. Is there anything else you'd like to leave the people? I know you said you're wrapping that up, but any last little mantras, thoughts, or comments?
That's it. I am looking forward to hearing about other stories that people might have. But other than that, I'm good.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for coming down on this morning on this rainy day. No, it's not sunny. I'm going to predict it now. This rainy spring
It
day.
is sunny outside right now.
Coming through on this rainy Thursday and taking us with you on your morning commute or morning routine. Happy Thursday once again. And as always, take it easy.
Bye.